There we go. Let's wait for some people to come in.
My favorite part of the stream. I'm sure there's a way we can get music up here some in the future for the first couple minutes. Take a viewer request on music.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to add music into the stream, but I probably could figure a way to do it through the computer. I'll work on the music side of things next time. We can take viewer requests. Only thing we have to check is I don't know how it works with streaming and copyright music. I feel like they probably
Yeah,
just send you a warning. They don't really have time to worry about like anytime someone plays a rap song in a live stream.
yeah, I'm sure we'd be fine.
No. Wait for some people to come in on this sort of looking like a very bullish day. Not to get too excited, but it's actually news that is not potentially good, but some things are actually starting to move.
Things are happening, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty excited about it. So, we getting some people joining in over here.
I realize some of our normal viewers are probably asleep. I know Sis lives over in.
You're a little muted for some reason.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, that's better now.
Okay. I said I know some of our normal viewers are asleep right now at this time. I know Sis lives over. What time is it in Russia right now? Let's look.
Oh, Sis just went to bed.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah.
We'll have him back soon. Okay, well, I mean, I guess we can get started. We can just wait for this all to come through. But we definitely could get started with talking a little bit about our thoughts on the RFK event. Go from there. Then we got some really interesting topics here to cover. I'm actually very excited. I think these are things that maybe some people know, but not a lot of people know.
Yep. Totally. Did you want to start in right now?
Yeah, let's start. We got some people here.
Okay.
We'll give it a start. And, it always grows as we goes.
Cool. Well, obviously we weren't able to listen to the full RFK speech, but I do know the summary of it is that RFK. We were anticipating RFK to obviously drop out of the race, and hoping he would endorse Trump, which it sounded like that's exactly what happened. I think my initial thoughts are, I think that was definitely the right move for RFK for a couple reasons. One, I think, as much as I like RFK, if I was to pick a president for this next election, honestly, my vote would have went for RFK. But realistically, he didn't have a choice. And I think he knew that. He understood we're only a couple months out of the election now. And so next best option, obviously, is Trump. I think the worst case scenario for RFK or any of the Republican side is a Kamala win. And I think RFK knows he's inherently taking votes away from Trump just by running. And so I think he made the smart choice, by dropping out and doing what's better for the macro of the country, which is yeah, to let himself endorse Trump and let some of his followers join the Trump train. But I guess for you, what's your kind of stance on that on RFK? How do you feel about RFK in general?
In general, I lean a lot more towards being a libertarian than I do any other political movement. I think libertarians are a little bit strong in some places for me with their political views, but what I really like is the lack of people telling you what to do,
Yep.
government being responsible for creating a fair playing field and not for anything else, really. Um, so I'm not really pro Democrat or pro Republican. I definitely think Trump is the better option by far here. But the biggest concern that you have in a three-party race is that the third party doesn't endorse. And strangely enough, because the votes are always so close, and we're not going to get so into that. Um, we're not going to be sponsored by My Pillow this round, but the biggest thing is because it's so close. All you need is one small part of that contingency of that vote to pull votes away, and that could actually wreck and hurt people. And I think that there's more people from the Republican side that lean towards, like me and you, towards RFK. And if a couple of them voted for him, and not for Trump, that could swing the election actually towards her.
Yeah,
And the
totally.
fact that he's endorsed turns it into a solid two-party race, brings those votes back into the fold. And I think that it's actually an extremely, extremely bullish event
Yep.
for Trump's political campaign because those votes get put back in. We now have a solid two-party race, and we have a clear winner when it comes to who is the pro-crypto
Yep.
candidate that you have here. And I don't want to get too into politics, but when you're
Yeah.
in the Web3 crypto space, this becomes a one topic
Yep.
voting thing for
Yep.
a lot of people because it's their livelihood, it's their industry, and
Yep.
they're going to go towards that. And consolidating RFK back in, I think, is a really good thing for
Totally.
us.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like my political views aside, because that's I don't really want to get into those either. This year, I mean, this election specifically, I'm a single issue voter.
Same.
I'm looking for who's going to help our industry the best. And I think the interesting thing about that is, crypto is obviously this is the first election where crypto is becoming a very hot topic in politics. And that's for very important reasons because I think crypto has the capabilities to solve a lot more problems than people think, right? It's not just voting for your bags, your crypto bags, right? Um, One, the state of our economy in the United States is horrific right now, obviously, right? The cost to buy things, the average wage in this country, right? We're hurting, right? Everyone knows we're very close to a recession, if not already in a recession and on, the very tip of a depression. And in my opinion, cryptocurrency can solve that, by using the backing of cryptocurrency for the US dollar. There's a lot of creative things you can do with cryptocurrency to really help our economy, which I'm not going to get too in depth on right now. But cryptocurrency also, where I think not a lot of people talk about is I think it also, um, you know, is the first step for world peace, which sounds kind of crazy when I first say that, but this was actually talked about at the Bitcoin convention. Um, but basically, these wars, the military industrial complex really started back in the 70s when we got away from using gold backing the US dollar because then the United States were able to just kind of print money for wars without having to back it by anything. And so I think cryptocurrency can solve all of that and make that first big step for recovering our economy. And clearly, obviously the Republican Party with Trump is the best option for that compared to Kamala, and it's not even close. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of major catalysts have just occurred. I would like to get more into the idea of Bitcoin and crypto and world peace, but that feels like we need a full segment for it. So I don't want to
totally,
open that rabbit hole. So you could really go into it
totally,
completely. Um, that's the only reason why, but we should definitely dig into that. But a few things we've been waiting on, and we'll talk about Storm. We'll go over the markets next. One is, Trump is very bullish, and RFK swinging over that way, or not swinging over, but just defining where his voters are going to go more likely. That was a big event. Bitcoin starting to break out, which is really nice. And at Jackson, the Feds have signaled that there's definitely going to be a rate cut coming, even if it's a small one, a quarter point a half point. That shift in policy is something that's been desperately needed and will begin to help us see some relief from the dollar side and from the relief from the dollar, as in relief of money coming back in because banks can borrow more, but also see relief in the markets. I think there's a big shift about to happen in Q4 of this year. That's going to start bringing a lot more money into the market and a lot better news. Speaking of markets, let's take a quick look. We were having a conversation before the show. Well, let's take a look at where Bitcoin is right now. Everything follows it, and you had some really positive sentiments on it right now.
Yeah, I mean, since we started this, since we started really doing these live streams, was kind of towards that very bottom, where I was super vocal about the swing long that I took and why I thought there was a very good chance that this was the bottom of this leg. You know, like market sentiment was at an all-time low. We were at like max fear, extreme fear. There were talks of World War III and the recession, and we just got off the largest liquidation event in crypto history, I think, and one of the largest stock market history as well. So there are a lot of confluence, not just technically, but fundamentally. And so I took that long right down here. I'll actually pull up that long so we can see it again. So took the long on the daily close. Obviously, the big level that we've been, chopping under now for a couple weeks was that 60 to 62K region, right? And so this was my take profit one level. This is kind of my full plan through this whole trade. The reason this was my take profit one level is because we had a ton of confluence, right? We had the midpoint of the channel. We had 60K psychological. We had the value area low of this range, which is a really big level. So this was not a short level for me, but this was a de-risk level where I took off 25% of my position, expected some resistance, and obviously we got a lot of it, right? And so the last week or two has been pretty brutal. Just so much chop, so much uncertainty. We've seen meme coins continue to retrace, but we finally broke out of that level as of today, right? And so for me, that's very exciting because I see one more large resistance level on Bitcoin before we get that massive short squeeze up, which I've been talking about for a while now. And that's in that 70K range, right? It's like that 67.5 to 70K. This zone right here is another take profit level for me, and it's pretty big resistance. But like we talked about last time, right? All that liquidity is right up at 70K, right? So if we can get Bitcoin to push up and break this market structure, it's going to be like a cascade event, right? It's going to be this level, first level, second, and third level of liquidation points, all basically simultaneously liquidated, and we'll get that massive move up. So similar price action to this this liquidation event down here, where we have this like massive candle to the downside. We should get a similar thing to the upside. But this time I'm not expecting a close back into the channel, right? I'm expecting that big run up, and that's when we'll see that next leg in the continuation of the bull run. And so I'm very excited. I think we have one more big level for me before I think we see a massive breakout. I'm way more leaning on the side that we get the breakout now because we continue to test the top of that channel so many times, and the market conditions are so primed for it. But we'll have to see, right? I'm not a trader that isn't. I'm not going to have a bias and not read the market. If we get that liquidation event and close back in, then I'll say, hey, we might be going lower again. But
You're going a little underwater sounding for a moment.
my mic or
There,
what?
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so we'll see, but very bullish for me, and seeing that first take profit level break finally after a couple weeks is it's exciting. So yeah, that's pretty much all the TA stuff I have for today.
Awesome. I mean, you can see that breakout level whenever you have a consolidation forming. There's always a risk that it goes to the downside, and it's obviously clearly broken out of that mid channel. And yeah, hopefully it starts slurping up that liquidity over that 70, 72. But everything seems to be lining up pretty nicely today. Very, very happy to see how it's going. It's some very awesome. Very happy about that news. It's about time that we start to have some good good news coming through and some positive sentiments. If you look at the fear and greed index, we're moving a little bit more towards neutral. 48, so right around neutral. It was in fear before. all the charts are starting to move up, and we're in meme coins. Remember, guys, there will be some impact right now, but the big impact that you want is not going to happen until that liquidity moves from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and then it starts to go crazy, and
Yep.
things really go in a very positive way. So it's all coming.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah, and also one thing too you gotta keep in mind is, when we were up here, when Bitcoin was, close to high 60s, 70, right? Meme coins were at their all-time highs, right? So meme coins at this point in time, when Bitcoin was around, 66 to 70K, that's when, uh, everything was at an all-time high. Dodo was at 10 plus million. Bobo was at 240 million. Right? Everything was valued so much higher than it is now. So what you would theorize is if Bitcoin can make that move to the upside, the market should price that in, right? And if it breaks those all-time highs and makes new highs, then those meme coins should make new highs as well. So that's what I'm anticipating.
yeah, no, it's going to be great. I'm going to turn off your camera share right now, and we'll open up your screen share over here. Let's open up the conversation a little bit in terms of our other topic that we wanted to discuss, which was talking about the market memes. We want to do a little bit of a history lesson. This is not about anything about the markets of the memes in terms of how they're doing technically, how if you should invest or not. This is really talking about the memes itself. And I think it's important that people learn about the memes, because if you don't know about the culture of the memes, if you don't know where these memes come from, it's going to hinder your ability to really understand the communities, the potential, and it also helps you invest in the meme coin worlds. It shouldn't be just like looking at a chart or looking at a meme. The depth of how far it goes is really helpful. So we're going to be talking about the market memes, where they originated from, some cool history about them, and hopefully everybody learns a little bit about them and learns something new that you may not have known. If you guys have any questions at all throughout the stream, feel free to ask us in the live chat. We do read it. We will respond. And we love hearing from everybody who's listening to the stream from whatever platform you're on. So I guess we should bring in the first thing that we could talk about, Storm. The mothership of these memes that it's sort of based on is Pepe. Would you say? Do a little
Yeah,
brief on
totally.
that, and you know Pepe very well. Maybe you should lead off on this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I obviously, if you're in this space, you don't know what Pepe is. I don't know what to tell you. But Pepe is, outside of it just being a large meme coin, it has a lot of history behind it, both with like the Matt Fury comic book side of it, and then post Matt Fury meme, where it became like this 4chan meme and evolved, eventually into a cryptocurrency. But yeah, I mean, Pepe the Frog, right? It was a Matt Fury Boys Club character back from early 2000s. And in the early 2010s, when kind of internet meme culture was really blowing up and 4chan was, very popular, Pepe was kind of hijacked into this internet meme culture meme figure, right? And obviously from there it took a lot of different shapes, right? Like, if you watch this doc, I want to recommend a doc because it's a really good one and it goes deep into kind of the history of Pepe. But it's called Feels Good Man, and it talks about kind of how Pepe transformed into this like cultural movement all around the world in the form of a meme. And so obviously, like I said, it took so many different alleyways in terms of what Pepe meant to different people. It obviously had a dark side to it too, specifically on 4chan. You had, Pepe being recognized as like a official, um, basically like an official hate symbol, I guess, because of the ways it was used in 4chan as a meme. Um, but then obviously it got hijacked by the trading community, which is where you kind of saw the birth of like Bobo and Dodo, Snibu, Mumu, which is basically Pepe metamorphized into different animals of the stock market that represent the movements of it. So Mumu being the bull for the bull market, Bobo being the bear for the bear market, Dodo being
So
Black Swan event, and Snibu being Chop. So
Before that, just to add into your point about Pepe the Frog, to give people some dates, the earliest, and there could be other things elsewhere. We're not, um, you know, internet historians where we've looked through every single place. So correct us if we have any mistakes on the dates. But the earliest that we're seeing, this comes from Know Your Meme. If you're looking for the source, the original Sad Frog based on Pepe, Matt Fury's drawing of Pepe on 4chan was about 2009. That's the feels good man reference to Pepe. That's where that came from. And it was Pepe itself was drawn in around 2005 from Matt Fury in the Boys Club. And I think the first illustration was him going to pee or something. Or one of the first illustrations in 2008 was when he went to go pee, and that was popularized on 4chan's Biz board, which is one of the most famous boards, actually, if you know, that helped launch a lot of coins like Dogecoin, Chainlink, and many, many others. So that's where that confluence and connection from a drawing of a meme headed over towards the meme coin world from the people that were on 4chan and using it on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It has like a very long history behind it before it was actually a cryptocurrency, and then obviously when the cryptocurrency meme coins took off, it shows obviously leading that race. Um, Pepe, of course, rose to the top. It being one of the biggest and well-known memes, not meme coins, but memes of all time. So no surprise that Pepe is what Pepe is today. I think it's got a lot more room for growth. When I think of meme coins, you want to find memes that have history and transcend the whole meme coin narrative, and Pepe is one of those few, that have that real history behind it. And so now it has the community, it's got the money, it's got the market cap, and so yeah, Pepe is gonna really lead the race here for meme coins this cycle for sure.
You know what's interesting? I just thought about this. I hadn't really put much thought into it. Last cycle, obviously, there was this dog Doge. Don't have to get into it, and all the other dogs that came from Doge, and originally these all originated mainly on 4chan bulletins. But at the same time that that was happening, actually way earlier, and also at the same time, people were posting Pepes. People were posting other, when they say Pepes, they're posting things that originated from Matt Fury. So the root of this bull run cycle, which we know that Matt Fury is going to be a huge part of, was already around the last cycle. This isn't new. It was already being used. It was already around the last cycle. And it's really interesting how the sources from online comes from the same internet culture, and that you have something that if you would have paid attention to last round, you may have known that Pepe would have been the big one coming because it was already being posted everywhere and it was on the same places. And that's pretty cool that it's not something new. It actually was sort of like an Easter egg last cycle that Matt Fury is going to be the leader on this round of the meme coins. I mean, it's interesting to me, and as Blood Boy, it's super interesting to me that Matt Fury created Blood Boy, and the whole idea of when there's blood in the streets, buy the blood. We have a deep root into the usage of that saying and of Matt Fury in these memes. So like, there's always little hidden Easter eggs from before. And maybe this round, there's going to be an Easter egg for what's going to hit next, because it's not like it wasn't around Matt Fury and these memes. Maybe there's going to be an Easter egg this cycle that's going to tell you what next cycle is going to have.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think each cycle it'll probably be a little bit of a different narrative in terms of what people decide to put their money behind. And this cycle, I've said forever, it's Pepe. It's the derivatives connected to Pepe. Last cycle, obviously, it was Doge and the coins connected to Doge. So you had Doge, you had Sheeb, you had whatever Baby Doge. What are the other ones? There's so many dog token derivatives of Doge, but those were kind of the all the coins that did well last bull run, and it's very clear on specifically the ETH chain it's Pepe and Pepe derivatives. So yeah, totally.
And Matt Fury in general, I would say, as a big part of it. I would, you can say Pepe, Matt Fury. There's different ways to connect it, but I feel like he's a huge part of that, and he's been a huge part of that. The same boards that we're posting the dogs, we're posting Pepe's, and we're posting Matt Fury related artwork in a way, which is cool.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So let's talk about the market memes over here. Which one should which should we start at? I mean, if you want to give a little history on the four of them, of
Yeah,
the market
well,
memes.
I think it makes the most sense to start with the two OG market memes, which would be Bobo and Mumu, right? So Bobo being the bear for the bear market, and Mumu being the bull for the bull market. Those were the first two that were kind of captured by the trading community, used in stock trading specifically first. Actually, people say 2018. That was when Bobo and Mumu were coined. Their names were given to them, but the Bobo meme, the bear for the bear market, was used long before that in the stock market community. So, but they were officially coined, named Bobo and Mumu in 2018. And then that was followed by Snibu, the crab, in 2019. And then later on, my favorite Dodo, which was 2021, I believe, was when that was officially coined a name. So yeah, I mean, again, the history of them was basically Pepe was the biggest internet meme at the time, and people were um, basically taking Pepe and creating him into different kind of characters for different sub communities. For the trading community, it was Bobo and Mumu, the animals that represent the stock market, and you can see in their name, right? It's Bobo, Mumu, Snibu, Dodo. They're phonetically the same as Pepe, and it's the same art style as Pepe, just different animals. So other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. The history of those memes go far before or beyond just the meme coin, which I think a lot of people get that wrong. I think a lot of people think that these meme coins created the meme. Like Bobo came from the meme coin, but that's actually very very wrong. The meme was around long before the meme coin launched.
Yeah, let's dig into a little bit deeper on that, and to add a couple of things. Let's go into the nonsensical side of the origins. Dodo used to be called Hap Hap. I think the rebrand was very strong.
There's
I'm
another
not.
name, wasn't there?
There is another name, but I don't want to get this stream. People, feel free to do your own to do your own research on um, the original name of Dodo. But that's something that you can look up on your own. Remember, a lot of these things originated on 4chan and other internet boards. They're not censored. But the one we could tell you about is Hap Hap. I don't like it that much. And Moo used to be Moo, and I think the Mu shortening is makes it a little bit easier to work with and to say. So that's found that pretty cool. Um, the other thing I wanted to say is all these memes originated, in 2000. Went on the market side of things. Another place they were big was Indian street bets on Reddit. Is another place that these memes have been used for a very long time. So the Reddit culture as well, that online trading culture, has been using these. And they originated, let's say 2018 is when they started. It's 2024, so it's about 6 years ago. But the term "when there's blood in the streets, buy the blood" has been used forever in the markets. I don't know even. Do you have any idea when the first time? I feel like it's just been.
Blood and that's a term that's existed since the.
You're going a little fuzzy on the mic. I don't know what happened today.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might be my doing a U today. I'm not sure. Maybe
No,
let me quick.
no worries. But when there's blood in the streets, buy the blood. And although Blood Boy is a Matt Fury character that's came been created about a year or so ago almost. Um, that concept of tying Blood Boy to when there's blood in the streets, buy the blood, we're putting it as a market meme, and it works really well. And through this chop and turmoil, people have constantly been saying buy the blood. So it makes sense that you add in something to relate to that idea of buying the blood in the market. And that's where Blood Boy comes in as a relation to the other market memes. And I think it just makes really perfect sense. When there's blood in the streets, buy the blood.
Totally. And you would have been rewarded for that the last couple weeks if you'd done that. So yeah, I think that's a great slogan to go by as a trader. Like, don't, especially how the market's been the last couple months. You don't want to let that FUD and fear get you out of your positions. You want to have higher long term conviction for your plays, which we've been saying since I met Blood Boy. He's been saying that, and I've been saying the same thing. Like, pick your few plays where you have high conviction, long term conviction, and hold them through everything. And it's easy when market looks good, but when the market's been the way it has been the last couple months, you see who really has conviction in their bags. And so, yeah, I'm glad that we're finally seeing that real shift in market sentiment and market structure from a technical and fundamental standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, look, we strongly encourage people to buy the blood, but it'd be nice if you're just buying the ticker and it really wasn't so much blood on the streets. But remember, the biggest pain, the biggest gain. And if you have, you know, the balls, the cojones to hold during these times, and if you even have a bigger set to buy during these times, you get max reward when things get better. Don't chase green candles. Be there when it happens and let other people pump your bags. But talking about the art form of these market memes, it's interesting how they're so closely related to Pepe and the different styles of Pepe. So Pepe was a drawing that came, the style of Pepe that was drawn was from Matt Fury's Boys Club. I'm going to share my screen real quickly. If you don't mind, I'm going to go through some of the art forms of these market memes. And I think it'll be very relatable to people when you see it. I'm trying to share this real quickly. Uh, Window. There we go. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So this image here, and you can see my mouse. Awesome. So this image here, you can see how Pepe is drawn. It's more round. You can see the direct relationship to Andy as well. Um, very clear to see that. Very clean. And comes from the Boys Club comic. Obviously, everybody knows about it from Matt Fury. So the market memes that have been drawn, we could start over here with Bobo. You see in this image, you can see a very close relation to the image of Pepe in the Boys Club. It's rounded, it's clean, nice drawing. That's a drawing of Bobo. But then you also have a drawing of Bobo that has more of this squinty look. It's less formed, it's less defined. And that comes from the Apu Apustaja style of drawing, and that comes from Spurto Sparde. So we'll bring over here the Apu drawing. They're talking about Apu for a moment. The first mention of Apu, I believe, according to Google, says that that name appeared in January of 2016. So it's been around for a while, this idea. It's on 4chan, this meme as well. It's pretty big. But the thing that I want to talk about is the style of drawing. The style of drawing is called Spurto Sparde, which is a Finnish, it came around on a Finnish image board. So we'll go over to Spurto Sparde, and I want to bring up this picture over here. Spurto Sparde was a reference to this meme called Pedo Bear, and then they made a really crappy version, not crappy, but a version of that image from Pedo Bear. Then you started to have it as Finnish based on the Feels Good Man Pepe meme. And then you started drawing these different versions of it. But you can see in the head shape over here of the Apu, which is the Spurto Sparde drawing style, you can see this different head shape, and that head shape comes up in the market memes. So the market memes are drawn both in the Pepe and the Apu style, depending on the meme. Some are more Apu, some are more Pepe style in the head. So they go back and forth. And if you look at the heads of all the memes, you have the Bobo, Apu, or Pepe, and then you go over to, um, if you look at move bulb over here. If we go and look at Snibble, you see Snibble, that same type of head shape. You can see how they're all referenced pretty closely, the style of drawings for them. Um, Moo Bobo, and then I don't think Dodo has as much. Do you see Dodo? Dodo's a little bit separate. It doesn't have as much of the same definition. I guess the eyebrows a little bit, that double rounding in, it is sort of similar to it. But all these market memes are rooted in the Pepeverse, which is something that's important to know. So some of the biggest memes out there and the Pepeverse are directly connected, and that's directly connected to. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right now. That's directly connected to some of the biggest narratives out there of this bull cycle.
Yep. Well, yeah, the biggest narrative I would say is Pepe, and like I said, the derivatives behind it. I think each bull run will have kind of its champion, its face card for the meme coin bull run. As we talked about earlier, it was Doge last cycle. It's very clearly, in my opinion, Pepe this cycle. Whether it's the Matt Fury derivatives, whether it's the Pepe versus Market 4chan derivatives, it's very clear what I think. What I guess category of memes will kind of thrive this bull run. And so, to me, very big on Pepe versus, but vast majority of my allocation into those coins. And yeah, I think just like how Pepe follows Ethereum and Bitcoin, these coins will follow Pepe. So when Pepe starts to move again, which it will, these coins will kind of be brought up with it. So
Yeah, the market. It's interesting that the market leaders and the topics that we talk about are part of the actual market memes that are used everywhere. So that whole Matt Fury, Pepe verse, market memes, there's a pretty deep connection to all of those, and I strongly encourage everybody to learn about these memes. Go online, look on the boards. We could share a limited, I'll just put it this way, we're able to share a limited amount of internet history on the streams to ensure that you will be notified of our stream the next time we go on, because some of the boards that they originally posted on have rather controversial subject matter that may not be allowed on the platforms we're streaming to. So, but you should look it up and go on those things. And even though it might be a little bit dark, the fact that places, things like Doge, Bobo, Pepe, all these things had a strong origination on boards like 4chan or deep
yep,
in the deep in the Reddit um, was Reddit threads like Indian Street Bats and Wall Street, all these places. It's a good idea to know that internet culture and to participate in it, because the next cycle and even things that come out this cycle, the biggest ones are usually rooted in memes that are actually used. I mean, like the Wojak verse that's starting to blow up.
yep,
That's another strong meme verse that
yep,
wasn't created a month ago. It's been
yeah,
around for years. And
totally.
that's why I think the success is coming also in that area. So it's like you can be an
Agree.
internet sleuth and find those Easter eggs.
Yeah, no, totally. And Wojak versus another one. I mean, that's my Solana side of conviction bags. But yeah, the Wojak is another top 3 to 5 internet meme of all time. For me, you got some really heavy hitters and Brainlit, obviously, Big Brain, Trump Jack. Those are all memes that have been around for a long time. Trump Jack specifically, right? It's playing into the narrative, what's going on with the Politify memes as well as the Wojak verse. So there's some gold in there, right? You got to really study and know your narratives of whatever meme coins you're buying. And I'd say Wojak and Pepe, those are like 2 of the top internet memes of all time. And what's great about them is they have those derivatives underneath them too for a little bit of extra exposure.
And also, what's interesting is when we talk about the market memes, you talk about how they balance. We need to talk about how they balance each other out. Snippo is sideways, Bobo is positive, Dodo is like the Boganoff. When you say buy it, sell it, that meme, Dodo sort of relates to that type of action. Um, Bobo is the bear market, Mumu is the bull market, and they all come from the Pepeverse side of things, which is more of the cleaner side of the meme world. Then you have like the Broken Man, the Crying Man, the Wojak verse. The Wojak verse is there to balance out the world that's on Ethereum, that meme world that you have, or primarily on Ethereum, the Pepes, the Matt Furies, the Boys Club. I think the idea that they're taking these Wojaks on Solana and making it sort of a balancing act of where these different memes exists is rooted deeper than just the memes itself. It's that these memes are stronger when you understand how their relationship works to each other. That one has the broken, rough side to it and all the problems. The other one is more clean and artistic in that way. Not artistic, I should say, but a more clean drawing. And that if you have a story where there's only a hero and there's no foil, it's not as strong. But when you develop the foil and you develop the anti-hero and the hero, you have a much better world. And I think the Wojak verse is sort of like the anti-hero or the foil to the whole meme culture of Pepeverse, Matt Fury, and all of those. Just like Bobo and Mumo are there, you know, are the opposites in the market meme world.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, in the Wojak verse, you have a different Wojak meme for, every emotion that you could think of, whether it's like wrecked, big brain, brainlet, right? They're capturing different subsets of the meme market. And so the other thing too that's important, and why I think people need to understand why some of these meme coins have deep rooted history, is because what we're waiting for, what we've been waiting for, is that big retail pump, right? When price discovery mode hits the meme coin market, and we get billions of dollars of retail liquidity into the market. You want meme coins that retail is going to recognize, right? And so everyone has used the internet in the last 10 to 15 years has seen Pepe, they've seen Wojak, they've seen those memes. And so being identifiable to retail traders is very, I think, undervalued. But I also think why I chose to put my money in a lot of these memes is because I know that background that these meme coins have will serve a big purpose when retail comes into the market.
Yeah, the market's about to shift, and if you want to get out of the PvP building nature, no building, but PvP nature of the meme coin world right now, there's not as much liquidity, there's not as many people, but the real takeoff happens when we get to the outside world, and when you have memes that are relatable to people in the outside world, that they've been used when they're trading, they've been used in their forums, the Wojaks, the market memes, the Pepes, they're using these. They might not be in the meme coin world, but they're using these in their chats. They're using these day to day. And the concepts are very strong. Concepts of when there's blood in the street, buy the blood. The ideas of Matt Fury, ideas of the market memes of Pepe, Dodo, Bobo, Snibble, Mumu. All of those are relatable. And then the Wojaks are things that people use and don't even know the name of. And they use various different ones because they're so relatable to memes on Instagram, on Reddit, on 4chan, in chats. So the Wojak verse, I think, is something that also is a place that's going to bring in a lot of the tradfi type of people and a lot of the quote unquote normies, because they'll see something that they use. They see something that's familiar, and the familiar draws people in.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. And yeah, what's crazy is we've been accumulating some of these memes for so long now, throughout this bull cycle. And like I said, retail hasn't even entered the market yet. We haven't even seen a bull cycle really for the altcoin with the meme coins. Yes, they've performed well, but they haven't even outperformed Bitcoin yet. So um, yeah, hopefully that comes soon. My theory comes, Bitcoin price discovery comes at the same time hits that all-time high. So yeah, now it's like a matter of sitting and waiting. We broke through that big resistance, and this is a time where you position yourselves in these really good meme coin plays and let the market do the rest.
I agree. I understand the cycle of the market. You definitely can't force it. You definitely can't push it. But the bullish events of looking towards RFK endorsing Trump, looking at the rate cuts that are basically insured to come in the following month, seeing how Bitcoin is starting to break out with very little resistance. That liquidity is going to flow from Bitcoin to Ethereum when it hits its all time high. Then it's going to come over to the alt or meme coins, however you want to look at it. And it's going to be vicious, the amount of money that comes in. And you want to understand the memes, you want to research the memes, and you want to know why is it that these memes are going to relate to the people that are going to flood into the crypto market when we start hitting its all-time highs. So hopefully everybody learned a little bit about the market memes, a little bit about the history and how they connect to the Pepe verse. Hopefully, everybody is buying the blood in the streets at these discounted rates. So when the market takes off, you can absolutely make that generational wealth and really change your life and understand that without the pain, there is no gain, especially in the world of crypto. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Storm, did you have any closing thoughts?
No, just continue to follow market. I think we're going to have a very exciting next couple weeks, next couple months. Obviously, the last 2 to 3 months have been very boring and tough to get through. But if you've held and you've stayed strong, I think you'll be rewarded here.
I completely agree. All right, everybody, happy Friday, and we'll see you guys again soon. As always, we are open to corporate sponsors, any sponsors, and we will now awkwardly stare at you while we end this stream.